Well, as we heard earlier, National Security Advisor John Bolton referred to the United Nations International Court of Justice that ruled this morning that the United States must ease sanctions on Iran. Well, here's what Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had to say about the court's decision.
I'm announcing that the United States is terminating the 1955 Treaty of Amity with Iran. This is a decision, frankly, that is 39 years overdue.
The decades-old treaty dealt with economic and consular ties between the U.S. and Iran. CBS News correspondent Errol Barnett was at Secretary Pompeo's briefing, and he joins us now from Washington. So, Errol, what was the reason that Pompeo gave for pulling out of this treaty? And what do you think it means when it ultimately comes down to U.S.-Iranian relations?
Well, the bottom line here is that diplomatic relations between the United States and Iran are bad, and they're getting worse. Secretary of State Pompeo pulling out of this treaty, which effectively establishes diplomatic relations and, beneficial economic trade between the two nations at a time when sanctions are about to hit on Iran November 4th because of President Trump's decision to pull out of the Iran nuclear deal. The National Security Advisor John Bolton at the White House this afternoon reiterating the secretary's points and effectively saying that, look, all of these multinational bodies, not just at the UN but elsewhere, are biased, ineffective, and have no real jurisdiction when it comes to the United States domestic and foreign policy. The National Security Advisor John Bolton also saying that the U.S. is pulling out of the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations because Palestinians brought a complaint to that entity because the U.S. moved its Jerusalem and Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So this is a few hitbacks from the Trump administration in the wake of President Trump's UN General Assembly speech, which was about sovereignty and the limits of multinational bodies. And the U.S. is showing that it does not find a lot of these entities to be effective, to be legitimate, and it is now pulling out of them. Secretary of State Pompeo saying the relationship with Iran is not positive, and National Security Advisor Bolton saying the same thing, but their beef is with the Ayatollahs, with the government, with the leadership. They both made points today to say it is not with the Iranian people.
You know, Pompeo, we know, Errol, is also traveling to North Korea later this week. What did he have to say about that upcoming visit?
That's right. He'll be heading to Japan, North Korea, South Korea, and China as he tries to pull together U.S. allies in the region to make progress toward this track for a full, verifiable and irreversible denuclearization of the North Korean peninsula. But here's what we know. The deadline for this lofty goal is the end of President Trump's first term in January 2021. We know that North Korea in the short term wants the U.S. to officially declare an end to the Korean War by the end of this year. There's no signs yet from the Trump administration that will happen. We know that the U.S. wants a full itinerary from North Korea. What kind of nuclear assets do you have? Where are they in the country? So they can then effectively measure how close North Korea is getting to denuclearize or open up these sites for international inspectors, and that has yet to happen. So Secretary of State Pompeo at this stage is painting dialogue as success. The fact that the U.S. and North Korea's top diplomats, Pompeo and his counterpart, spoke to each other at the UN General Assembly, he says that's progress. The fact that you don't have President Trump calling Kim Jong-un Rocket Man anymore, he says that is progress, and he hopes it will result in something tangible soon. We'll have to wait and see, what that is until after he does his Asian tour this weekend.
It's interesting, though, in the White House press briefing, Ambassador Bolton stopped shy of actually directly saying that he trusts Kim Jong-un. What's the mood, Errol, in the White House? Do they trust? Do you think Pompeo trusts Kim Jong-un the way the president does?
Well, look, if you listen to President Trump's most recent comments at one of his rallies, he and Kim Jong-un fell in love. And Kim Jong-un sent two beautiful letters to him that he says are works of art. That's on the presidential front. But when you look at National Security Advisor John Bolton and his history, he has been a hawk here in Washington when it comes to confronting either nuclear powers or potential nuclear powers around the world. And so his views on Iran are quite firm. And I think that's why you heard heard him dodge answering that question of trusting Kim Jong-un, because that family has not proved itself to be trustworthy with any U.S. administration in decades past. But he's certainly someone to watch, because since Bolton came on board in the administration, you've seen a much more aggressive posture when it comes to the international stage. It's something to kind of watch closely here in the weeks and months ahead as the U.S. deals with two, almost nuclear powers with Iran and North Korea, and what to do about them.
All right, we'll have to wait and see exactly how this goes down. Errol Barnett, grateful you could join us, Errol.
Of course.